Buen día, amiguitos. Aquí el Mr. Spiny. Conseguí esta Space Training Cards hecha por Cardsmith. Es un megabox. Contiene 8 paquetes de 5 cartas cada una. Supuestamente la probabilidad de encontrar una cripto es 1 sobre 192. Vamos a ver qué tal, ¿no? Está ahí en el centro, costó $120. A ver qué tal. Dice antimatter, número 51. Subatomic matter has a twin, antimatter. Antimatter is composed of antiparticles, particles with a positive electric charge, as regular matter, and while antimatter has never found in an observed universe, scientists have actually created in a lab. Vemos que no tiene redeem code ni nada. Jupiter. Name for the Roman king of gods. Jupiter is our solar system's biggest planet, a gas giant with no land. It has 95 known moons. All but the first 12 moons have been found since 1974. Galileo observed the fourth largest, Ganymede Callisto in Io, Europa in 1610. Jupiter. Ceres. For more than 200 years, the space rock Ceres was considered an asteroid. It does live in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The International Astronomical Union determined it has hallmarks of dwarf planet in 2006, reclassified as such. Esa está un poquito más durita. Marca también 49 aquí y 15 de 45. Uno que dice supernova, an exploded star. One type of supernova happens when a large star's core has no more fuel, without heat pressure to counteract gravity. The core collapses and shockwaves causes an explosion. A second type of supernova occurs when two white dwarf stars get too close and collide with one another. Supernova. Eclipse. When celestial bodies align just right, they block the sun and cause shadows. In solar eclipse, Moon's orbit takes between the sun and Earth, throwing our planet into minutes of darkness. In a lunar eclipse, the Earth casts shadow over the Moon. Eclipse. Constellations. Humans have long used these positions of stars to navigate and to create calendars. We imagine lines and shapes between certain stars to make them easier to spot. These patterns are called constellations. The International Astronomical Union lists 88 of them. O sea, nomás hay 88 de estas constelaciones. Quantum physics. Quantum physics and quantum mechanics, they are close in meaning. Each field studies subatomic matters. Quantum physics is the overall science, while quantum mechanics is the part of that stress mathematical calculations. Quantum physics. This is Paul A.M. Dirac. Conventional physics doesn't apply at the subatomic level. There are quantum physics take over. Paul A.M. Dirac, 1902 to 1984. Won a Nobel Prize for helping bridge two realms, plus he predicts the existence of positrons. Constellations, una vez más. Que está repetido. Coronal mass ejection. The corona is the outer level of the sun's atmosphere. It contains plasma in which gas is so hot that its atom breaks down into electrons and ions. In coronal mass ejections, a big corona explodes, discharging plasma and tendrils of the sun's magnetic fields into space. The most widely held theory of the universe's origin. Some 13.8 billion years ago, all matter and energy were within infinitely dense singularity. It began expanding, but there was no explosion. The term Big Bang was just shorthand that stuck. Supernova. Saturn. Humanity has eclipsed at the bright Saturn since prehistory. Galileo in 1610 was the first to see it through a telescope. He found what he calls arms. Astronomer Christian Huygens, using better optics in 1959, deduced there were Saturn's now famous rings. O sea, los anillos los confundió con los brazos. O le decían brazos a los anillos. This is Robert Goddard, the father of modern rocket propulsion. In 1926, Robert Goddard, 1882 to 1945, launched the first liquid-fueled rocket. He also invented multi-stage rockets. NASA Goddard Space Flight Center is named in his honor. Gamma ray burst. Gamma rays are invisible form of light. In space, they can explode for anywhere from milliseconds to minutes. Recent evidence suggests their energy may come from matter collapsing into black holes. Pluto. It caused a sensation in 1930 when scientists announced Pluto, the first new known planet since Neptune, 1846. But scientists' advance brought more precise findings. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union deemed Pluto but a dwarf planet. Antimatter. Esta creo que ya. Está brillosito. Este es un Arecibo. Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico, before its telescopes collapsed in 2020, it made a huge discoveries. First evidence of ice on Mercury, first detailed views of Venus, first planets outside of the solar system, and more. Arecibo is slated to reopen as a science education center. Órale. Puerto Rico. Nicholas Copernicus. Humanity once believed its heavens orbit Earth. Astronomers Nicholas Copernicus, 1973 to 1543, proposed the heliocentric system. Planets orbiting the Sun. His work went to the influence of Galileo, Newton, and others. The Moon. According to NASA, most scientists believe that the moon formed from the debris of another celestial body colliding with Earth. The molten remains became a sphere and crust formed from the less dense rocks that floated upward. Coronal mass ejection. The corona is the outer layer of the sun, atmosphere complete. Ya también. Telescope. A lens device that magnifies faraway objects. The telescope is crucial to study space. It's certain who invented. Hans Lipschitz usually gets credit, but astronomer Galileo improved upon greatly and pointed out towards the heavens. Richard Feynman. Physicist Richard Feynman, 1918 to 1988, reshaped the way we think of subatomic matter. He gave us startling new insights into the movement of particles and waves, and his Feynman diagrams made such complexities easier to understand. James Webb Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope orbits Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope orbits the Sun. Launched in 2021, the JWST is among the most complex and powerful telescopes ever created. Its mission is to peer deep into time and space when the first galaxies were born. Lise Meitner. Physicist Lise Meitner, 1878 to 1968, was the one who discovered nuclear fission, a key part of the atomic bomb. Meitner objected to such weapon and declined to join the Manhattan Project that developed it. The element Meitnerium is named for her. Space Telescope. Yeah. Isaac Newton. A giant of science, Isaac Newton, 1643 to 1727, gave us famous three laws of motions and the law of universal gravitation. Newton also invented calculus, so previous remains his influence that even today we speak of Newton's physics. Supernova. Wilhelmina Fleming. A 19th century scientist, Wilhelmina Fleming, 1857 to 1911, helped create a system for classifying starlight. She discovered hundreds of celestial bodies, among them the Househead Nebula and Planetary Nebula, Fleming 1, named for her. Johannes Kepler. The link between Copernicus and Newton. Johannes Kepler, 1571 to 1630, made major discoveries about planets, orbits, and other cosmic motions and notions. The two most famous are his area law and the harmonic law. dwarf. Somewhere between a planet and a star is a brown dwarf, sometimes called a failed star. They form like stars with gravity squeezing gas into dense air, but they don't ignite like stars. Fun fact, they are not really brown, but range from magenta to deep red. Supernova. Este que es Ceres. For more than 200 years, the space rock Ceres was discovered an asteroid. It does live in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The International Astronomical Union determined it has hallmarks of dwarf planet and 2016 was reclassified as such. Algorithm. We measure the universe with math. Algorithms are one of the tools we use, a series of steps towards solving a problem. They help us determine everything the rocket launch, velocities, to the movement of galaxies. Stephen Hawking. Physicist Stephen Hawking, 1942 to 2018, expanded our understanding of black holes and much more. Despite being afflicted with ALS, he became a celebrity scientist who wrote the best-selling books. Hawking never won a Nobel Prize, as the most of his work was purely theoretical in nature. Nicholas Copernicus. Albert Einstein. Considered many of the most famous scientists and physicists of modern times, Albert Einstein famed theories of relativity underpin our understanding of the universe. Einstein, 1879 to 1955, won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. And to this day, his work still exerts profound influence in the scientific community. Richard Feynman. Milky Way. As the Earth is our home, so the Milky Way is Earth's home, a spiral galaxy of more than 100 billion stars. Its orbit, a black hole like nearly every other galaxy. Our solar system inhabits an area called Orion Arm or Orion Spur. Y esta es la última, Io, una de las lunas de Júpiter. Hundreds of erupting volcanoes cover its moon of Jupiter. No other body in our solar system so volcanic active surface contains whole lakes of molten lava. Pues eso es todo. Ninguna de para hacer redeem de una criptomoneda.